Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Small Streamer Diaries. This is episode 10, and this will be another solo episode. So, this topic was suggested to me by one of my listeners, icecreamson. So, icecreamson, thank you so much for the suggestion. icecreamson's link will be in the description, so please do check him out. So, the topic that he suggested was what made me start a YouTube and how did I get this far? So, if you've listened to my other podcast episodes or if you watched me in my streams, you know that I am a very big advocate for YouTube gaming and I do not like Twitch at all. I was on Twitch at first. I started my streaming journey on Twitch. A few months later, I left for YouTube and haven't been back streaming on Twitch since. However, I haven't really had a dedicated podcast episode to this. I mean, I've talked about it, but I haven't had one episode completely dedicated to why did I move to YouTube from Twitch? And I get that question all the time. I get it less now, with the year that Twitch has had with all of their announcements over the past year. And I've talked about this before. They've made some decisions that are probably good for them, but they really don't seem to be in touch with what creators want or what viewers want. They really don't seem to care about their creators at all. I just don't think that Twitch is run very well or ethically. I don't really like them as a company. I don't really like them as a platform. So it's not really about the money for me to go to YouTube from Twitch, because I know a lot of people don't want to leave Twitch because you can get monetized really quickly over there. I got monetized in the minimum amount of time. Like, I could be making more money on Twitch because I'm already monetized on Twitch, but I just did what I thought was right and I went to YouTube. So anyway, more and more people have been going to YouTube, especially with a lot of these big streamers that moved from Twitch to YouTube last year. I mean, probably every month or every couple of months, you had one of the biggest streamers leave Twitch for YouTube. So I don't get the question as much now as I did when I moved. So I moved in September of 2021. It was right after Tim the Tatman left for Twitch. And I remember that, or not for Twitch. He left Twitch for YouTube. And I remember this because that's kind of what prompted me to move, because I had already been thinking about it. But when Tim the Tatman moved, I was like, okay, this is my sign. And I got so many questions then from everybody, like, why would you move to YouTube? Nobody watches streams on YouTube. Nobody streams on YouTube. Like, if you want to be a streamer, you got to be on Twitch. So at the time, I posted a video, well, not at the exact time I moved from Twitch to YouTube, but like a few months later, I did post a video about this, and it was called The 4 Reasons I Moved from Twitch to YouTube. And I went back and I looked at that video, and most of that is still true. I just have a lot more to say now. And also at the time, I was a lot more unsure of my move because a lot of people asked me why I moved. And then, a lot of people thought I was crazy or stupid. Like, a lot of people just flat out told me like I was an idiot for going to YouTube because nobody watches streams on YouTube and nobody streams on YouTube. And it's so hard to find streams on YouTube. And there's no discoverability for streams on YouTube. It's just for videos and, whatnot. So I think it is a good time to do an updated video on what do I think so far about streaming on YouTube and why did I do it and what keeps me on YouTube and how did my channel turn into YouTube good, Twitch bad. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So I'm going to go over the reasons that I talked about in that first video that I made. And I mean, you can go watch it if you want. It's called Small Streamer Diaries, The 4 Reasons I Moved from Twitch to YouTube. I think, let me check. I think that was the title of it. The 4 Reasons I Went from Twitch to YouTube Streaming is what it's called. So the reason, number one reason I said, okay, and when I say number one, it's just the first reason that I talked about in the video. It wasn't like the number one, as in the most important reason. So, reason number one that I mentioned was growing offline. And I still talk about this in my streams and my podcast episodes, is that I need to be able to grow offline. And you simply cannot do that with Twitch. It's just not how Twitch works. It is a live streaming platform only. Your channel is completely irrelevant and dead if you are not live. People just will not discover you. I can post a short or a podcast episode, or even just one of my live streams will go to a video and after I end stream, and any of those things will grow offline. Like, I can post a short right before I go to bed, and I wake up in the morning with more subscribers and a lot of views on that short. Well, depending on how the short does, it might have not that many views, but sometimes it does have a lot of views. And I can check my analytics on YouTube every day, and everything goes up. Like, everything contributes on my channel. Whereas on Twitch, if I am not live, not growing, sometimes not even then. Like, I would have entire streams on Twitch stream for 4 hours straight, not one follower. And it just felt like a waste of a stream. But if I stream on YouTube and nobody comes in, I'm okay with that, because it'll still turn into a video where people can go and watch it. And I still do have people comment on streams that are now videos that were like 6 months ago. Like, that would never happen on Twitch. I mean, you can't even comment on VODs on Twitch, but they don't even last for 6 months on Twitch. Like, Twitch takes them down after, if you're an affiliate, I think it's like a week. Partners, I'm not sure what it is anymore. It used to be 60 days for partners and 2 weeks for affiliates. I'm not sure what it is for partners now, but Twitch removes VODs. YouTube, they stay up forever. So I have people commenting on streams from like 6 months ago. So, they are still discoverable, even though they're streams, and they were like 6 months ago. So the second reason that I mentioned in that old video was discoverability. So YouTube, well known for its discoverability. Twitch, well known for its non-discoverability. So the advice on Twitch is to like go to a different platform and create other content. And one of the biggest platforms recommended is YouTube, because it has such good discoverability, because YouTube's algorithm is really good at recommending videos even if you're not a big channel. Like, there's this really widespread misconception that YouTube only favors big channels. Like, oh, the algorithm hates me. You just have to get lucky with the algorithm. You have to be a big channel if you want your content to be noticed. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, because like, how did those channels even become big? Like, they had to start posting stuff. They started small too. And YouTube's algorithm, it goes video by video. Like, it doesn't care what your channel, like how big your channel is. It just wants to know, what does the audience want to see? Whereas on Twitch, it's a kingmaker system, which I learned this term in one of Devin Nash's videos, a really great content creator. If you don't know him, he works a lot with big content creators, and he does these videos where he breaks down like different marketing analytics, and I watch his videos all the time. They're really, really good. So he explained the kingmaker system, which means that the top stay at the top and the bottom stay at the bottom, because Twitch organizes its streams by most viewers to least amount of viewers. So I think that now I would say that growing offline and discoverability are within the same category. Like, if I said YouTube, I want to stay on YouTube for the discoverability, then I would also include growing offline in that, because part of discoverability is growing offline. I mean, personally, I can't be live all that time. I don't think most people can. Like, for most people, this is just a part-time thing. And I have seen people on Twitch who absolutely freak out if they have to take a break from streaming, or even if they go on vacation, or they turn down things that they're invited to, like events or, just like fun things on the weekend to do. Like they turn those down just so they can stream. And being on YouTube, like I don't feel that kind of pressure. I don't feel the kind of pressure to have a schedule and stick to it every single week. And I can go on vacation and I can take a break and I cannot stream like whenever. And I don't feel this like huge pressure to go live because the only way you can just be discovered on Twitch is if you're live. All right, so the reason number 3 that I mentioned in that video is other content creation. So I said in this other video that all the advice, like I mentioned before, all the advice to grow on Twitch is to create content on other platforms and then move your audience over to Twitch. So you create content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and then you tell your audience there, once you build up an audience, you tell your audience there, hey, come watch me on Twitch. I stream there. And I said in this video that it doesn't make any sense to me that I need to go outside of a platform that I'm trying to grow on in order to grow on that platform. Like it still doesn't make any sense to me, but it's probably not really a reason now that I would go to YouTube. I do like having all of my content in one place. But I think more specifically, that's also like within the discoverability category. Like it really seems ridiculous to me that I would have to go outside of the platform that I'm trying to grow on in order to grow on that platform. Like why would Twitch want you to go outside of their platform? Like every platform wants people to be on their platform. And even the CEO of Twitch said that most people find their favorite Twitch streamers on platforms outside of Twitch. Like they're aware of this. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But I would say like today, if somebody asked me, what are your reasons for going to YouTube from Twitch? I wouldn't say that as a reason. Okay, so reason number 4 I mentioned in that video is getting to YouTube early. So I wanted to do something different. Like I didn't want to be on a platform that was really oversaturated with streamers. I wanted to do something new and I wanted to get to YouTube, especially before everybody wanted to get there. Like you want to do something new as a content creator. You want to be innovative, you want to be creative, like the title is content creator, so you want to be creative. And that is, I would say, still one of the biggest reasons that I moved to YouTube. If you ask me today, that is one of the biggest reasons. And, like I hear a lot of people giving this advice of like, you have to do something different if you want to be noticed. Like there's millions of channels out there. So we're told all the time we have to be doing something different. But then at the same time, I hear a lot of small streamers who will refuse to move from Twitch because they're like, well, everybody's on Twitch and that's where people stream. So I have to be on Twitch. And it doesn't, that doesn't make sense with the advice that we're given of you have to do something different. Or you at least have to do something that not a lot of people are doing in order to get noticed. So you don't want to do, that's the wrong mindset. I mean, you don't want to do what everybody else is doing. So at the time that I moved, everybody thought I was crazy, but it was a move that surprised people, and it did kind of kick off my whole niche for what my content is. So, which leads into the other question that icecreamson had asked, which is, how did I get this far? So, how did small streamer diaries even come to pass? How did I find my niche? How did I get this far? So, if you listen to my 2022 recap, I talk about this as well. But I'll go over it again because I do want to dedicate this episode to what made me start a YouTube and how did I get this far. So, I did start a YouTube when I was still on Twitch because I was not really growing on Twitch, and I was looking up, strategies to grow my Twitch stream. How do I grow my channel and things like that. And of course, the advice I got was create other content on other platforms and bring your audience over to Twitch. So I did start a YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel, but I never posted anything on there. It was just for watching stuff. So I created a new one that matched my Twitch name, Rebecca MC. And I don't think I was really posting anything on there while I was on Twitch because I didn't know what content to make. Like, I was just playing video games. Like, I didn't really know what to do. Like, I didn't really do tutorials. Like, I wasn't, I wasn't like a tutorial person. I had some funny clips, but they were all posted on Twitch. I thought about doing like game reviews, but never really got that far with it. And so when I decided to move my streaming over to YouTube is really when the content started, because at first it was just my streams, and I would stream on YouTube a few days and then I would stream on Twitch a few days because I just wanted to try YouTube streaming out. And I felt like that was even worse for both my channels because nobody knew where I was going to be. So even though I don't have a schedule right now for my streaming on YouTube, at least people know I'll be on YouTube. So like on any given night that they're free, they can check YouTube and see if I'm there. But if I'm on Twitch or YouTube and nobody knows where I'm going to be, they don't even know what to check. So I had a few streams on Twitch or on YouTube, I mean. And then when I moved completely over to YouTube, it was all full of streams. And then a few months later, so September 2021, that's when I moved to YouTube. And then February, so okay, more than a few months. So that was what, September, October, November, December, January, February. Okay, so that was like 6 months or 7 months. Because I had this idea for Small Streamer Diaries, the video series. And I know it was 7 months before I posted my first video. So it was 7 months before I even like posted any kind of video. I was posting a few shorts, and though some of those did well, most of them didn't do very well. More of them are doing better now because I learned how to edit the shorts better. So it was just live streams and like a few shorts. So I started Small Streamer Diaries, started posting more videos. It was really hard for me at first to think of what content I wanted to do. And then I started being more active on Twitter, and I got a lot of information from Twitter. I would keep up with Twitch news and YouTube news on Twitter, and I would just like tweet out my thoughts. I would retweet decisions made by Twitch, like big announcements or big announcements made by YouTube. I would follow all that news. And I would also follow news of, like people that would post videos about these things, about like, anything to do with Twitch or YouTube or streaming. And I would tweet out my thoughts about this. And I also had a guest on Small Streamer Diaries, the video series, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was like a podcast. So I love doing that. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe Small Streamer Diaries would be better as a podcast. So I turned it into a podcast, and it's doing way better than the video series. So I definitely think that this is the right medium for it. So I go on Twitter and I think of different topics for Small Streamer Diaries. I'm thinking about this stuff all the time. I am constantly on Twitter looking for more news and, more topics for Small Streamer Diaries. Some, like I wasn't doing solo episodes at all until I did the 2022 recap. And that episode was like an hour. And I was like, oh, I can also, do these episodes by myself, because it is very, very hard for me to ask people to come onto the podcast, even if they say that they like the podcast and they'd love to be on and they don't mind doing it, but it's still really hard for me to ask people because it's just really hard for me to like ask somebody to like give up their time, because I know everybody's time is really valuable, and I hate asking for people's time. But I have had some really good friends who were nice enough to donate their time to me in most of these episodes. Like I have 8 episodes and they all have guests on there. It wasn't until episode 9, my last episode, the 2022 recap, that I did it by myself. So there will be more solo episodes coming on Small Streamer Diaries. So that will also be part of my content and how I keep my content going. And how I got this far is, what I find is that content breeds other content. So I go over this in the 2022 recap too. When I started streaming, I had no other plans. I didn't even know that the way to grow was to create other content. So my only plan was just to stream playing video games. That's it. That was my start. And then as I got more into it, I became really, really interested in why did people think I was crazy for going from Twitch to YouTube? Like, because at the time it seemed like a really, really good decision to me. I mean, I still think it is. A few months after I had moved to YouTube, I was really questioning myself because I was new on YouTube and I pretty much had to start over. Like, people didn't really follow me from Twitch to YouTube. I didn't really have a big audience on Twitch anyway because I'd only streamed there for a few months. But for a while, I would have nobody watching. I mean, if you go to my first videos on YouTube, they've got like 5 views. And I would put some of my streams from Twitch on YouTube, like the full stream, but they would never get any views. And even my streams that are like 4 or 5 hours, they still get a decent amount of views. And I don't know if it's like YouTube pushing out their own streams or whatever, but I do find that my streams are more successful on YouTube as VODs than if I took them from Twitch and uploaded them as videos. So I had no other plans for any other content. I had this idea for Small Streamer Diaries, but I didn't want to post anything because I was like, well, I have a really small audience and nobody's going to watch this. So I'll wait until I get a bigger audience, which as I found out, and I say this in the 2022 recap too, doesn't make any sense because you have to post the content first and then you get the audience. And along the way, that's when I started thinking of other ideas. Like, I started with this video series, Small Streamer Diaries, and then it turned into this podcast, which seems to be doing pretty well. Not amazingly, but people tell me that they enjoy it. And when I post a new episode, I do get people saying like, oh, I'm really looking forward to listening to this episode. So that tells me that people are enjoying it. It does have value, which as I found out, I say this in the 2022 recap too, like I'm going to repeat this a lot because I had to find this answer out for myself. What does having value mean? Like, how do you know if you have value? I even saw this tweet just yesterday saying something about, like, if you don't have value, learn it. If you have value but nobody sees it, then build an audience. And I was like, but how do you know if you have value? And all this advice I heard about content was, oh, what value are you bringing to your content? Why would people want to watch you? And I see so many people who don't really understand what that means because a lot of people don't really explain what it means. Like, because the question normally is why would people want to watch you? And everybody thinks that, oh, well, I'm nice to people and I build a great community and I play games on stream and it's fun. And that's great. That's great and everything, but it doesn't make good content. Like, your content needs to be informational, like educational to somebody. Like, they have to be looking for some kind of information, or it has to entertain people. And I literally had to ask myself that question because I really didn't know what it meant because my content wasn't doing very well, and I was like, why is my content not doing well? And I was looking for an answer, and the advice I was seeing was, well, why would people want to watch you? What value do you bring? And so I said to myself, okay, why do I go to YouTube? Why do I go to TikTok? And the answer was, I'm looking for information or I'm looking for entertainment. And I was like, oh, there you go. Like, that's the answer. And I didn't, see anybody specifically saying, like, you have to provide information or you have to provide entertainment. I feel like a lot of these bigger content creators, they've been doing it for so long that they sometimes forget, like, when they say, why would somebody watch you and what value do you bring? I think sometimes they forget that people don't really know what that means, especially because there's such this rampant idea running around in the streaming community that you don't really have to do anything. You just have to be like a nice person and you'll make it. And you just got to grind out streams and build a tight knit community with good vibes or whatever, and you'll become a partner. So I was very interested in this as well. I was very interested in all these misconceptions I was seeing in the streaming community because I bought into it at first too. Like, when I started, I thought everybody was so welcoming in the streaming community. I thought everybody loved each other. I thought everybody was like very honest when they, when people said like, well, I just started for fun and I just wanted to make friends and I just wanted to build a community and I don't care if this turns into full time or not. I don't care about the numbers. I mean, most of the time that is not true. Like, I do see a few people that really truly do not care, but most people do. But there's like this pressure to feel like you're relatable to viewers or whatever. So you just say like, oh, I'm just a regular person and I didn't even do anything. I don't even know why people watch me. I just did it for fun. People are treating streaming like a hobby, but they're expecting it to grow like a career. And I always do so much research with everything. Like, every time I watch a new TV show or a movie, I will look it up on Wikipedia, IMDb. I just like to research things. I just like to find out like fun facts about the show or the movie. And anything I do a ton of research. That's just like the person I've always been. I'm a business analyst full time in IT, so I do that work every single day in my working life. Is I do a ton of research, and I was always doing research on growing my stream, Twitch, YouTube, but I find that most people were not doing that. So when people ask me these questions about like, why'd you go to YouTube, or like, why, like, why didn't you come back to Twitch, and why do you stay on YouTube? Because YouTube isn't known for its streaming. And then I tell them all these things, like, and then I also, tell people, well, YouTube is working on its streaming. It's got memberships, which is the equivalent to subscribers on Twitch. It's got gifted memberships now. It's got raids, which is, they're called live redirects on YouTube, which is a terrible name, but that's a different issue. So YouTube is working on its streaming stuff, and they also have been adding a live ring, which means, if somebody's watching one of your videos or one of your shorts, it'll have the little live ring around your profile picture, and it lets people know that you are live right now, which is something that Twitch does. Like, if you're just like browsing through Twitch and like on a VOD or like a clip or something, I think it tells you if like the person's live. I mean, Twitch is like, it is a better live streaming experience. But the biggest streamers that started, on Twitch, or the biggest streamers that, okay, how do I say this? The biggest streamers on Twitch right now, or anywhere like YouTube, that started on Twitch, like, they started when Twitch wasn't really popular. Like, live streaming wasn't really a thing. Like, everybody thought it was stupid. People were saying, why would other people watch people play games live. That's ridiculous. And now people are making millions of dollars doing it, and now everybody wants to be one of those streamers. So they all did something different. They all got to Twitch early, and I think it is certainly the wrong mindset to want to follow what everybody else is doing. And you have to experiment for yourself. Like, you might like YouTube. You don't know until you try it. I find a lot of people won't even try YouTube because they say, oh, well, Twitch is the place to be, though, if you want to be a live streamer, or I don't know YouTube, I only know Twitch. Well, you can get to know YouTube. I mean, you didn't know Twitch right away. You learned. So I see all these things and I get very, very interested in, why are people doing this? Like, why are people acting this way or thinking this way? I was also a sociology major, so I studied people's behaviors over time and studied why they thought, certain things. So I guess that's another reason I might be very, very interested in this stuff. So once again, content breeds other content. So I'm thinking about these things. I'm tweeting about them. I'm making videos about them. I find other content creators that are interested in the same thing. So my friend PB of Arcadia, he's been in 5 of these episodes of Small Streamer Diaries. So he's really helped me out. He's also interested in this stuff and creates really, really good podcast episodes with me. So as I'm going through all of my content, it makes me think of other ideas, and then I post an episode and people are suggesting different topics. So like this one, icecreamson suggested this topic. I have my friend Lil P who suggested another topic. And then as I'm talking to people, talking to my guests, talking to other content creators, seeing the news about streaming and different platforms, I'm thinking of more things. Like, I'm being more creative with my content, and I see something on Twitter or I hear somebody say something, one of my friends say something, and it makes me think of an idea. I'll be like, oh, that's a really good topic for Small Streamer Diaries. So I actually thought of another topic when I was talking to my friend Commander Frost. I wanted him to be on one the podcast because I wanted to talk about what are the good things about Twitch, which I did do that episode with Commander Frost and my friend Lil P. But at first, I was asking Commander Frost to be on it, and then he said something to me like, oh, I'm not seeing much good about Twitch lately, but we can do that episode. Like, yeah, I'm interested in doing that episode. And when he said that, my brain just went off. I was like, oh, you know what? That would be a really good topic to cover on Small Streamer Diaries. Like, why is he saying this? Because he's a Twitch streamer. He also streams on YouTube now, but for a long time when I met him, he was Twitch only. And I was thinking, like, okay, so are Twitch streamers becoming more disillusioned with Twitch? Like, I was seeing a lot of people who were complaining about Twitch on Twitter, but I didn't really know them personally. I was seeing a lot of unhappiness, but I didn't, since I didn't know them, I wasn't going to ask them to be on the podcast. When I look for people to be on the podcast, I will interact with them for a while to see if they're going to be a good fit for the podcast. And so here comes the perfect opportunity with my friend that I've known for a long time. We're really good friends. And he implied that he had been really unhappy with Twitch. And I was like, okay, that's a great topic. So we did an episode on that. And then we did end up doing that episode on, okay, so what's good about Twitch, with him and another one of our friends. So as I go along, I just keep thinking of new ideas, and then it becomes easier once you start, get started on this. It does become easier because I'm always thinking, okay, what should be my next topic for Small Streamer Diaries? Like, I already have a couple of topics in mind that I want to do. I don't know when they'll happen, but they're at least ideas. And I look for new ideas on Twitter every single day. I mean, Twitter's on my phone, so I can, at any time, wherever I am, I can look at Twitter and look for new ideas. And then I'm checking my YouTube comments and anything that people say on my community page or comments in my videos or on my streams or even in my live stream chat. I'm always thinking like, okay, what can I turn into a small streamer diaries topic? All right, so that is what made me start a YouTube, and that is how I got this far. So since it's been about a year and a half since I went to YouTube, am I going to stay on YouTube? Was YouTube a mistake? And I think if you've listened to me at all, you'll know the answer to this. But just in case, yes, I'm going to stay on YouTube. No, I do not think going to YouTube was a mistake. I think although Twitch is still the top live streaming platform right now, it is going downhill. I'm glad that I got to YouTube early. That's what I wanted. Like, I wanted to get to YouTube before everybody else got there. And I didn't know 100% that people were going to want to move over. I just used my instincts and an educated guess that YouTube was up and coming in live streaming, and I really just felt strongly with all the research that I did and my instincts telling me that was a good move. So definitely trust your instincts and do your research, which is something that I repeat a lot, but please do, because it is really important. So will I ever go back to Twitch? I mean, not at this point. I think Twitch is, it's got potential still to be a good platform, be a good company. Like, it could make changes at any time. I don't think that they will, because from what I see of Twitch, they don't really care. They don't care about their creators. They don't care what people want. They don't care if people are struggling on Twitch, because they've established themselves as the top live streaming platform, especially for gaming, that they can do whatever they want and people will still stay on Twitch. Like, people will do anything to be partner. Like, they will do literally anything. I mean, Twitch breeds this kind of like desperate content creator because the discoverability is so bad. People are really cutthroat. They will spam their links in Twitter posts, and they'll try to do it live in other people's chats. They'll try to use people for views. I mean, not that people on YouTube don't do that, but I don't see as much of a toxic culture on YouTube, because I post something on YouTube and I let YouTube do the discoverability work. If my content is valuable, it will get pushed out to people. Even if I am an awesome content creator, if I only do Twitch, Twitch is not going to do anything to put my content out there. I mean, like I said, like, Twitch organizes its streamers by top viewers to bottom viewers. Like, they don't care if people, like, they don't do it like YouTube, where like YouTube will look at what a user has watched before, and then they recommend similar videos or similar streams. And Twitch doesn't care what people have watched before. They only care how many viewers do you have. So I have gotten recommended videos and streams on YouTube of all different sizes, and YouTube is just looking for, oh, what's similar to the things that Rebecca has watched. So YouTube good, Twitch bad. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right, so I mean, I am open to Twitch. Like, if they make a lot of good changes, I'm open to coming back. But like, at this point in time, I don't see it happening. And I just also think that YouTube is way better long term. I mean, I get recommended videos from like 10 years ago. And if YouTube thinks I will enjoy it, they will recommend it. They don't care. Like, they don't care how well the video did or like how many subscribers the channel has. If they think that you'll enjoy it, they will recommend it to you. And I do not see Twitch making changes like that anytime soon. So I am going to stay on YouTube. I would recommend that if you're a streamer, I would recommend at least trying out YouTube. I mean, if you don't like YouTube, like, there's other platforms. There's Facebook, that's would be the third biggest live streaming platform. A lot of people find success on Facebook. Like, you never know. Like, and then there's Trovo, which is not quite as popular, but I know some people have found success there. If you've never been anywhere but Twitch, but you are not happy on Twitch, just try something else. I mean, you never know where it will take you. Like, I didn't know a year and a half ago. I had no idea I would be at Small Streamer Diaries, the podcast. I've been on a couple of other people's podcasts, which I've talked about before as well. I was on the Tube Talk podcast, which is the vidIQ podcast hosted by Viper. He's an awesome friend of mine. So if you don't know vidIQ, they're like this really big channel. They're an actual company too, and they help people grow their own channels. And I am sure at the time that I was on Tube Talk, people listened to it and they were like, "How did she get on Tube Talk?" Because she's a tiny, tiny channel. Like, I'm under 1,000 subscribers. But the culture of YouTube is more like, it's not like how many subscribers do you have? It's like, what do you have to say? Like, what value do you bring? And Viper hosts the Tube Talk podcast, and he follows me on Twitter, and he saw all these things I was tweeting about and thought, like, she'd make a really good podcast guest. So you never know what will happen. I said this in my 2022 recap too, but I think it's really, really important to stress this, because I feel like no matter what I say, no matter what my experiences were, people will still not do anything different. Like, they will stay on Twitch, they will stream for hours and hours, they will have the same viewership they did a year ago. Whereas, I moved from Twitch to YouTube. I'm doing all this content I never thought I would do. I'm doing a podcast I never thought I would do, doing shorts I never thought I would do. I'm meeting really great people on YouTube that I didn't know, I would meet. I mean, I'm getting on podcasts I never thought I would get on. I mean, it's been a crazy journey. You don't know what will happen. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. So if you are staying the same on Twitch, just go do something else. I mean, I can talk about my experiences all day, but you are the one that has to make the change. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this episode. So icecreamson, thank you so much for the idea of this topic. I really appreciate it. I hope that my experience and the things I talk about, I really hope it helps you. I mean, I love talking about this stuff, and it really, really interests me. So I hope if you're listening to this, it interests you too. And if you have something that you would like to see me talk about, please mention it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas, as I said. Check out my Twitter, because I post a lot of stuff on Twitter about this. If you are interested in these kinds of topics at all, I post a lot of stuff about this on Twitter. And also come to my live streams. I play games live on stream, so please come check them out if you are a gamer, or if you just want to hang out. I really, really appreciate you listening. Once again, I really do hope you find this helpful. Like, I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing it because I was so surprised that people thought I was absolutely nuts for going to YouTube. I wanted to bring awareness to a lot of these things that I think a lot of people are not thinking about. I mean, I don't think that all small streamers are bad people and idiots for like not trying new things. I think there's just these misconceptions and these ideas running rampant around the streaming community that I feel are wrong. Like I just don't believe in spreading misinformation and giving people false expectations because it leads to better engagement on your streams and your tweets, and you seem like a more relatable, humble person. Like, I don't think we should be doing that. So I hope you find this helpful. Please do give this video a like. I would really appreciate it if you're on YouTube, because I post this on Spotify too. I would also love a review on Spotify if you are willing to do that. But, you know, if you don't want to, that's okay. It's your life. I mean, I'm going to post this stuff anyway, but it would really help me out if you liked it on YouTube and or you left a review on Spotify. And if you subscribed to my channel and followed this podcast on Spotify, that would really, really help me out. Or, you know, once again, you don't have to. It's your life. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. YouTube good, Twitch bad. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.